Good afternoon, students. So already in last classes we have completed the security attacks and what are the services we have to provide in cryptography. These are the concepts you have to completed up to last class. Now in today's class we will start what are the security mechanisms you have to use in cryptography. So mainly the security mechanisms means generally we have to divide into two types. One is related to the ISO-OSA layer based on that ISO-OSA layer services, and the second one is not related to the ISO-OSA layers. So that means simply you can say that these mechanisms are divided into two types. One is the specific security mechanisms, and second one is the pervasive security mechanisms. First one is the specific security mechanisms are based on related to the OSA ISO layer architecture. So completely it is based on that ISO OSA protocol layer mechanisms, that is the encipherment, signature, and related to the access control, and the second one is the data integrity, and third one is the authentication exchange. Next one is the authentication exchange, traffic padding, routing control, and notarization. So these type of mechanisms, that means what are the security mechanisms here you have to use, those all are related to the ISO-OSA layer architecture. Like what are the layers, you have to use the 7 layers. Based on that 7 layers you can use these security mechanisms. And the second one is pervasive security mechanisms. Pervasive security mechanisms, mainly it is not related to the OSA layer architecture. So completely it is related to the not specific to the OSA layer architecture. First one is the trusted. First one is the trusted functionality. Second one is the security label, and third one is the event detection. And fourth one security audit trail, and fifth one is the security recovery. So related to the security mechanisms, specific security mechanisms completely based on that layer ISO-OSA layer services. These are the mechanisms pervasive related to the not related to the OSA layer, that is the protocol layers. So these are the mechanisms, that is encipherment. Encipherment means encryption and decryption process, transforming the data to plain text to ciphertext. These all things we have to discuss it in that encipherment. So here you have to use the algorithms to encrypting the data as well as decrypting the data, and along with the encryption keys and decryption keys. So next one is the digital signatures. Digital signatures means whatever the data, actual data, whenever you want to send from one place to one system to another system. So some more data will be added to that original plain text. So now we go. Okay. Now digital signature. So whenever you want to send the image from one system to another system, so some more image will be added to that image. That type of security you can provide it. Simply you can say that the digital signature. Next one is access control. Access control means simply you can say that access rights. Who are the authorized, who are the unauthorized people. That is based on that you can give the access control to that users. That is simply you can say that access rights. Uh, Next one is data integrity. Data integrity means simply you can modify, only authorized people only can modify the data. So that type of mechanism you can provide with that layers. That is the another type of specific security mechanism you have to use. Similar way, authentication exchange, identity of the identity of the people. So that is simply you can say that only authorized people can exchange the information. So you do not exchange with the unauthorized people. Only authorized people only exchange the information from one user to another user. That is simply you can say that specific security mechanisms: encipherment, digital signature, access control, data integrity, and authentication exchange. And the next one is traffic padding. Traffic padding, simply you can say that for example, whenever you have to communicating the data, some data you have to lost. So that data you have to fill with the insertion of bits of gaps. For example, you have to sending the hi, hello. So hi, hello, you have the in between the words you have the some gap. The gap you have to fill with the unique information that is simply can represented as traffic padding. So the insertion of bits into the gaps in a data stream. Data stream means continuous data flow from one system to another system. So that is simply can represented with that mechanism, that is traffic padding. And routing control. So routing controls, generally whenever you have to communicating the data from one system to another system. So which path is the shortest path? You have to communicating from source to destination, and specifically you want to enable the specific route. You have to communicating the data. All these things we can do with this routing control mechanism. And notarization. Notarization means simply you can say that trusted party, third party. For example, you have to communicating the data from the source to destination. Third party user like key distribution center. Key distribution center, you have to generating the key, and he will be generate the key and distributed to the both users, sender and as well as receiver. So that is the way you have to notarization you can do with this. That is the trusted third party, you can handle these things. That is the data while you have to communicate communicating the data. That is simply you can say that data exchange in between the authorized users. That is simply can represented with the notarization. These are all the mechanisms, that is the specific security mechanisms you have to use in cryptography. And these all things, whenever you have to using the ISO OSI layers, whenever you have to use it, that time you can use these mechanisms. And the next one is pervasive security mechanisms. Pervasive security mechanisms, it is not specific to the OSI security. Trusted functionality and the trusting. So you have to each. So whenever you have to communicating, you can use the two systems. That time you can using these pervasive security mechanisms. You don't these things, these mechanisms is not related to the not related to the layers. Simply you can say that trusted functionality. So whenever you want to communicate one authenticated user to another authenticated user, so the function both must be trusted each other. then only you can securely you can communicate from one user to another user. So here in pervasive security mechanism, trusted functionality respect to with the some criteria. So whenever you have to communicate, for example, I want to communicate the data from communicate this data to you. That means both must be some security policy must be security policy must be both will be authorized. Then only both users will communicate or exchange the data in between the users. That is simply you can say that trusted functionality. Whenever only authorized people accept the security policy, unauthorized users could not accept the security policy. Why? Because those people are on data can modify or do something, but only authorized people cannot do all these things. So security policies who can authorize, those people are simply you can say that those are authorized and they must be follow the trusted functionality. That is related to the pervasive security mechanism. And the second one is the security label. So whenever you have to communicate one user to another user, their names designation with some labels they have to specify. Next one is event detection. Event detection means security related. For example, unnecessary some users, authorized user, but you could modify something data. So that is not related to his. So that is simply that type of detection. Simply can say that event detection, detection of security relevant events. Only, for example, confidential data when you have only few users only can access the data, and those users only modify the data. But authorized people, he is not, he don't have any right to modify that information. Some authorized person. So that time simply you can use that type of events will be detected in this mechanism. That is the event detection mechanism. And next one is security audit trial. Security audit trial mainly every 1 week or every day they will have to audit trial we have to maintain while we have to communicating the data or receiving the data. All data we have to they have to respect the security policies or not. We have to trial with this. Simply every day you have to check it out. That is simply you can say that security audit trial. Last one is the security recovery. So security recovery means who are unauthorized users are accessing the data and for example, accessing the data, how to recover. Some data you have to lost. So how to recover that recovery actions will be handled with this. For example, I have to say while we have to communicating the data, unnecessary the data you have to stolen by the some user and he can modify the data. So once you have to modify the data, you can identify that some data is modified. So how to get the original data? By using this security recovery process, you can do with this pervasive security mechanisms. So these are the security mechanisms mainly you have to use in cryptography. One security mechanisms, these are the encipherment, digital signature, access control, data integrity, authentication exchange, traffic padding, routing control, notarization. These all simply related to the ISO layer or texture services. That is a specific security mechanisms. So another type of mechanisms we have to use which is not related to the OSI layer, security service layer, trusted functionality, security label, event detection, security audit trail, and security recovery. So these are not related to the OSI layer. So this is a pervasive security mechanism. This is regarding to this mechanisms, security mechanisms you have to use in cryptography and network security. So up to now we have to complete what are the basic terms you have to use in cryptography, and what is the security attacks, what are the security services, what are the goals, and what are the security mechanisms you have to use it in cryptography. So up to now we have to complete this one. And the next one, so what type of attacks you have to getting while you have to communicating the data, and what are the services we can provide with the security, what are the services we can provide with the security, and what type of mechanisms you. So generally here we have to use the two types of mechanisms. One is the specific security mechanisms, and pervasive security related to the network layer and not related to the network layer. So these are the concepts you have to complete it up to now. So next one, next one you can discuss with that mathematics of cryptography. In mathematics of cryptography, mainly we have to discuss mainly we can discuss. So here, what type of operations you have to use while encrypting or decrypting the data. So for example, here we have to see so while we have to communicating the data from source system to destination system like this is the model for the entire network security. So before discussing about the mathematics of cryptography, first what is the cryptography, how can what is the process. First a particular message we have to communicate with the other user in secured manner. How we can provide the security. For example, here we have to see this diagram. In this diagram, so this is the source user, this is the sender, and this is the receiver. While you have to communicating this message to receiver, first the message you have to convert it into, that is a plain text, convert it into ciphertext, that is a secured message. This secured message we have to communicate it through the communications channel, and once they have to receiver received the ciphertext, again this ciphertext you converted into plain text with the key. Finally the original message you have to receive by the receiver. So this is the process you can do with the cryptography. That is the simply you can say that this is the model of network security. So here generally in cryptography, mainly we have to use the two types of here we have to use the two types of encryptions we have to use. First one is the symmetric and asymmetric encryptions. So symmetric encryption means here you have to see this diagram. In this diagram, in the model of network security, the trusted third-party user, you can provide the same key. We can generate the same key, and that key we have to send to the sender as well as receiver. So that is type of encryption is called symmetric encryption. And the next one is here you can use public key encryption. In the public key encryption, you have to use the two keys. One is you have to generate the key is generated the trusted third party, and you have to send to the private key to that user. And public key you can transfer to the all users. Every person you know that public key. but only authorized people, whenever you have to use that key, then only the original the original message he will be received. So this type of encryptions you have to use. First one is the public key, first one is the symmetric key encryption, and second one is the public key encryption. So here you have to communicating the data like this. So in secure communication channel, you have to communicating the data, and a receiver will receive the original information. So here, generally, conventional encryption, generally here you have to use the two types of encryptions. One is the symmetric and second one is the asymmetric. In the symmetric encryption is also called as conventional encryption or single key encryption. Anyway, we have to go. So symmetric encryption, we can use the encrypt the data. The plain text is converted into ciphertext. That ciphertext we have whenever you want to convert in the encryption process, and the ciphertext we have to convert it into plain text. That process is called as decryption. So these all basic terms you have to discuss. So in this diagram it shows how to convert the plain text to ciphertext. So for example, here this is the plain text. You want to convert it into the ciphertext by using the encryption algorithm. So you are using some key here you have to use to encrypt that data. That is the secret key. So what the key here you have to use, same key you have to use it at the receiver side also. So the plain text you have to convert it into ciphertext by using the private key, and the plain text you have to convert it into ciphertext. This ciphertext you have to transmit it from sender to receiver. So at the receiver part, we have to receive that ciphertext. You have to convert it into plain text by using the decryption algorithm. So reverse of encryption algorithm. You are using the same key only. Then only easily you have to convert the ciphertext to plain text. So here, this is the encryption process. This is the decryption process. So once you have to completed encryption and decryption process, this entire process you simply can say that cryptography. So without knowing the key, so here you have to using the one key, and here also you can use the key. So whenever the user, the sender, by using the encryption, by using the key, the plain text you have to convert it into ciphertext. So who are the unauthorized user? That users, this ciphertext you want to convert the plain text without knowing this key, so that time by using the cryptanalysis, ఈ కీ లేకుండా డైరెక్ట్ గా సైఫర్ టెక్స్ట్ టు ప్లెయిన్ టెక్స్ట్ గా కన్వర్ట్ చేసేవాడిని cryptanalysis. This process is called as cryptanalysis. By this cryptanalysis process, you have to convert ciphertext to plain text. So this is entire process. Cryptography and cryptanalysis is also called as cryptology. Already you have discussed in this one. So this is the encryption process and decryption process. These all already you have to, whenever you have to discuss in the second unit, that time we will discuss again. So next one, what type of techniques you have to use it here? Here you have to use the two types of encryption techniques you have to use. First one is the substitution techniques, and second one is the transposition techniques. So here in the substitution technique, first one, substitution technique means here you have to use the two types of substitution techniques mainly you have to use. One is the mono substitution techniques, and second one is the poly substitution techniques. Mono substitution techniques, one letter we have to replace it with the other letter. That type of technique is simply call it as substitution technique. That is again substitution techniques we have to divide into that one mono alphabetic technique. So first one is substitution technique, replace it with the other letters symbols. That type of technique is called substitution technique. First one you have to discuss with that mono alphabetic substitution technique. So that is simply you can say that Caesar cipher technique. Caesar cipher technique means one letter. For example, here you have to see uh, actual plain text one. This is the plain text. Pay more money. That is the actual plain text. We have to communicate from source user to destination user. Whenever you have to communicate uh, this message, how to convert this plain text to ciphertext. So authorized people or unauthorized people would not know this type of typography. How to convert this actual plain text to ciphertext. So for example, I want to replacing the characters with the three places. For example, I want to place in the replace with the A character with the after three places. So after A you are getting B, C, D. So what is the third character here? D. So I want to replace with that. In the place of A, I want to replace it with the D. Similar way, after P, what are the letters you have to getting after three places? P, Q, R, S. S is the third character I want to replace. For the every letter, what are the letters you have in this message? I want to replace it after three characters of each one. For example, P character we have to replace with the after three places. That is the P, Q, that already P you have, Q, R, S. So S, P letter we have to replace it with that S. P letter we have to replace it with the S. Similar way, A letter replace it with the D. So see here, after A, B, C, D. So D letter we have to replace. Then Y. So I want to replace with the letter Y. After Y, we are getting the letters Z. Again starting A, B. Third, what is the third letter here? B. So like this way, for all letters M, O, R, E, M, O, N, E, Y. So these all letters you have to replace it with that other letters after three places. So M is replaced with the after M, M, N, O, P. So M is replaced with the P like this way. E is replaced with that H. M is replaced with that again P. So Y is replaced with the P. So like this way, what are the sentence you have to sending from the source to destination or sender to receiver? That information you have to replace it with the other characters after how many places. For example, here you are using the alphabet only. That is the 26 cases. 26 alphabets only you have to use. That means in cryptography you have to convert it. So for example, cryptanalysis, hackers are easily can this type of data easily you can hack. Means in that places you have to replace it with the 26 times. Automatically you can get that message. That is simply you can say that Caesar cipher method. So simply you can say that after three places you are using the four places like 5. So depending on your choice, you have to replace in with that characters. That is simply this type of technique is called Caesar cipher technique. That is substitution technique. See here, this is regarding to that Caesar cipher technique. So anybody say hi, I want to replace it with the four places. please type on chat box. So in next class we'll continue the Playfair cipher. Playfair cipher, simply you can say that you want to replace, for example, this is the original message. Meet me at the schoolhouse. That is the original message. I want to replace it with that monarchy. That is the key. I want to use this key here. Monarchy is the key. So I want to, this message, this is the original plain text, key is this is the key. So after that, whenever you are using this key, what are the remaining characters? You have to replace it with that remaining characters. What are the remaining characters you have? In sequential, easily you can write, except J. Except J. That is a Playfair cipher technique. So now, after that, you have to 5 into 5 matrix. Once you have to design. What are the original message that you have to convert it into two words. So neatly again divided into two letters. That is the MEET, MEAT, TH, ES. Like this way, you have to convert into two letters words. So after converting, so I want to replace in the place of ME. So here we have the M. Here we have the one M. So here both letters in the same row or same column. What you do? Same column means that time you have to replace it with that further characters. After M, what is the further character here in that row, in that column? C. After E, what is the further letter in that column? L. So I want to replace with that CL. Similar way ET. So ET we have here you have the E and here you have the T. So these two letters I want to replace with that KL. So so you have to represent it as triangle box. That is simply you can say not is triangle, rectangle manner. So what is the character here? E.